Hello, welcome to another episode of FootPrints. My name is Samuel Attah-Mensah, and we'll take a short break. We hardly get our wonderful woman to join us. And as you know, we have one of those wonderful women that we really have to spend time with today. So welcome once again to the program. We'll be right back.
Born in Nsawam, Lucy Banini, a broadcaster, was a popular face and voice on TV and radio with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in the 1970s and 90s. She began her career with GBC as an account clerk and rose up to be a news editor. Apart from reading news, Lucy Banini hosted a number of entertainment shows where she got the popular nickname Mama Lou. Our guest, Lucy Banini, tells her story on FootPrints now.
Welcome back. So we have Mommy here, Madam Lucy Banini. I got the name right.
Yes.
It's a name that if you grew up in the 70s, late 70s, throughout the 80s, within which period you didn't have the options of consuming media like you do today, you would be listening to GBC or Ghana Radio, wherever you are. Mm-hmm. And so those were the celebrated names that brought honor to this country through the media. Mommy, it's good to have you.
Thank you. I feel good.
Wow. When I heard, oh, have you spoken with Lucy Banini on your program? I was like, where is she? Because it's a must speak to. Wow. How have you been?
I've been fine. It's been good.
Wow. It feels strange. Now it looks like you are on the other side.
Yes.
Because like forever, you are the one interviewing people.
Yes.
You know, interviewing the politicians, the entrepreneurs, the development workers on any and everything. So what do you call yourself? A broadcaster, a media person? What was the profession?
Well, I'm a broadcast journalist.
Broadcast journalist. Wow.
I didn't do mainstream journalism.
Oh, broadcast journalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was taught in GBC.
Oh, okay.
I'm a product
on the
of
job.
GBC.
On the job.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the job, and we had a school.
Of course, the training school.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Now I have to be careful because now I'm speaking with somebody who's done it, seen it, practiced in excellence. No way I just silly bit. So, Mom, where did you start this whole thing from? Schooling, Accra, outside of Accra? How did it all begin?
Well, I'll start from my college days.
Right.
Because I can vividly remember when I was a little girl being instructed by mom and dad.
Uh-huh. But where were you born?
I was born in La. They call me Ajelisoa.
Born
in Sawam, but brought to La a week old.
Wow.
So I grew up in South Labadi Estate. And South Labadi, we call it Los Angeles.
Yes, back in the day.
Yes.
It was like the real,
estate.
Bungalow part of La.
Yes.
Good. And college will be where?
I had to go to Mauli. I was going to Wigihe. But my father sent me to Mauli. That was my second choice because my uncle was assistant headmaster. Reverend Trust. You know, Mauli School is a mission school, evangelical.
Right.
And it was being run by Peace Corps and Reverend Trust and his colleagues. So we had all white teachers.
Yeah.
And my uncle was one of the black few, and he was the assistant headmaster. It's called L.A. Banini.
Oh, okay.
So my daddy sent me there. They were cousins.
Oh, right. So that you have proper protection.
I did, but I worried him a bit because we were the few girls from Accra. And we took the Accra there and they were worried about us.
Well, that's good to know. So which years are you referring
That was
to?
60, 64.
Oh, okay. Between 1960 and 64.
You know, it was January to December, but it turned out to be September ending. So we did 2 years in 1 year when the whole thing was turned from.
Okay.
Maybe September. It ended in September.
September, yes.
Not in December anymore.
December. Oh, okay. Cool. So you left Maoli, and what did you do after Maoli?
I came home with a baby.
Okay. What does that mean?
It only means that just about when I was about to finish, having written my exams,
Okay.
I had a baby before the results came.
Wow. Wow.
And
how was that?
Oh, I was 18.
Yeah, but how was that taken by your parents and your colleagues in school?
Oh, maybe they were surprised, but it was only me.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yes.
Right. And career-wise, what did you do after that?
After that, another baby came. And then after that, 4 years after school, I got a job in GBC.
Wow.
It was my mom who asked a friend, and the friend had a friend, and I got into broadcasting.
When you were in school, did you have any inclination that you would want to do media stuff?
I was not surprised when I got into media, because
about
at
it.
school, I was an entertainment prefect.
Wow.
And I loved the stage.
Wow.
I could sing all the pop songs those days.
Which were
And
some
my
of the
brothers
songs
were
then?
all musicians.
Which were some of the songs then? Because between 60 and 64, remember any of those songs that you used to
I
sing?
do. I can see clearly now.
The rain is gone. That's Jimmy Cliff, right?
Yes.
Wow.
I have a picture with Jimmy Cliff when he came
When he
to Ghana.
came for the one of those programs, we'll talk about that.
I wanted to interview him, but because of the Rasta, he couldn't enter. So, you know, those days, GBC was a strict area.
They didn't allow Rastafari.
So we met at a friend's house and we just had fun and took a picture.
So, yeah, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Any other song?
Yeah, I used to sing a lot of Doris Day, you know, Ellen Shapiro, and there's a Jamaica, Harry Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte was quite popular among Ghanaians.
Jamaica Farewell.
Yeah, remember that song?
Yeah, I do, but I can't remember. Maybe by the time we finish, I'll remember.
Harry Belafonte.
And down the way where the night is good, the sunshine gleaming on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing boat, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say, I'm on my way, won't be back. How many days? My heart is down, my head is turning around. I'm going to leave a little girl in Kingston Town. And then everybody will clap.
I'm telling you.
Sometimes I sing off key, and the people would know.
No, we don't even care. We like the song, whichever way. I mean, I remember.
So every Saturday was my day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in school you were.
Yeah, I was
the
just like
Accra
that.
girl.
Yes, and I was debating. I debated for Maoli for several years.
Wow.
Even when I was in Form 4, I was the sole debater for Maoli school.
Wow. Against other schools.
I get Achimota, we flopped them, the blind and the deaf. I was a blind. I told her I could see everything.
Wow.
But the deaf man couldn't
Those
hear
were
everything.
some exciting days.
Moments.
That's the way it goes.
Yes.
So tell me, so getting to GBC, how did it happen?
In fact, I just got the job from GBC because the lady spoke to the man and said, oh, okay, let's try her. So I was sent to the accounts department and I was raising revenue for GBC. Sometimes, occasionally, they send me on go and get the money from those TV people who won't pay their, you know.
The advertising who don't pay their.
So they knew me. In Tema, I was chasing everybody. And I worked with the accounts department as an accounts clerk, grade 2.
Okay.
Then I got on to grade 1. Then one day we were in the office when a friend told me that they were doing voice tests in GBC, so I went. And I studied under John Hammond, Ellen Odamtin from the university, and Frances Ademola. Yes. But I ended up teaching too. I've taught a lot of people broadcasting.
Of course. So your first at the entry point when you switched from the accounts department into presenting, what was your first program?
I was a newsreader.
So you went straight into news
Reading. But before you get into news reading, you do what they call DCA.
What's that?
You introduce program, duty continuity announcer.
Okay.
It's a pedestal
on
for
TV
you to
or radio?
I did both radio and television.
Okay.
But on television, I got onto news. But before I got onto news, I was already there presenting programs.
Yeah.
I had about 4 or 5 programs that I was presenting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me, so your continuity announcement, what was the form at the time on radio?
Oh, then you announce the program, just like on BBC. You know, they use the BBC format to train us.
That's correct.
It is very good. Because before you get into news reading, then you might have studied all the local names, the trend of news reading. News reading is quite different from reading. You know, you must have the tone and present it well to a larger audience, not your mates, but people higher than you, the people who make the news. You see, like the president, you must read to the president. You don't read to your classmates. So you must have this style to present the news. Otherwise, you won't become popular.
Remember the first time you read the news?
Yeah, I did. And Roberto Wusu said, oh, you've done well.
Robert was there.
Yes.
And John Hammond was there.
Yes,
Robert Wusu was there.
In fact, John Hammond and Madame Genevieve Nyland of blessed memory, both of them of blessed memory, they called me one day into the office and said, you're going on television news. And I was surprised because at my age, I was only 24 then, and the people who were reading the news was the John Hammonds. And they said, they called us from the castle that we should put you on news. I said, well, I don't know.
Which year would this be?
I think this should be 76.
Okay. So Kutua Champions time.
Yes. I started doing the news.
Wow.
But before then, I was presenting programs.
Yeah.
I presented Hobby Time, Woman's World, music programs. I remember the time I hosted Sibisa, you know, me and Charlie Sam, and then some political programs during the coup times. That one I didn't like because I was always called to assizes. So why did you ask this question? I said, I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I did not prepare my questions. I play around my questions. Yeah. And one worst one was the engineer in GBC and the technician in GBC. The technician thinks he does all the work, and the engineer takes the credit. So they said, we are in the studio with you, that's a technician, and you didn't praise us. And then political programs, like those days, John Kublenu's time, you know, he was editing the evening news.
Right.
And I and Jacob Tego, we were presenting Ghana News Review. And my boss called me, who was my director general. I said, Lucy, but why do you...
Who was the director general at the time?
I think it was Charles Asino.
Who?
Charles Asino.
Okay.
Charles Asino. He called me and said, why did you... Fifi has.
Reverend Fifi has.
Yes. You know he was director general twice.
Yes, of course, twice.
He's one of my fans. So when he called me, you read the evening news with relish, and it was against paper.
Yeah, of course.
That was against paper. So I said, I like the stories because they sound real. And I know about the stories. It's happening. So that's why I read it. Should I have pretended to? Should I have changed it? I couldn't have changed it. I have a producer. Yes. I'm the one who can talk for myself. So I told her, okay. But next time, tone it down.
Tone it down, man. Well, it hasn't changed. So, at the time when you started reading the news, who were some of the the big names news readers that you met?
Oh well, my boss is John Hammond.
John Hammond.
And John Hammond.
And John left and came back.
He went to the Netherlands.
Yes.
He came back, but he was at a training school.
Training school, yeah.
Yes, he was at a training school.
So he was such a huge name, man.
Yes, he taught us. I remember one day he told me, "Oh, Lucy, but your name is Banini." I said, "Oh, Mr. Hammond, your name is Amon." Oh, Jatashi. I said, "Well, Lucy, you won't teach me again." I said, "No, we all know about each other."
Yeah.
Outside, I'm Lucy Banini.
Yeah.
Inside, I'm Lucia Banini.
Banini.
Yes.
All right. So John Hammond, his Hammond was Gan Hammond, not Fancy Hammond.
I don't know.
You don't know.
That
Okay.
was just the end.
Yeah.
So it's a Lucy Chobonido. Now I know enough.
You had John Hammond.
Yes.
And I still can't believe, I mean, we had the likes of John Hammond on Ghana radio at the time. I mean, the man could read news. You wanted to catch the news and go and keep it to your
Yes,
house,
and that's
man.
what we were taught.
Yeah.
And he was not a university graduate, you know.
At the time.
Not at 7.
Wow.
Yes.
John Hammond. I mean, I'm trying to sound like him. Pardon me.
Yes.
And then Robert Usu.
Robert still visits me. Robert.
Are you
Even
serious?
yesterday he called. Good evening, Robert.
Uncle Robert. Uncle Robert.
Uncle Robert, yes.
He's one
So,
that we
Lucy,
should be
you're
speaking
doing well. Then I'm happy. Yeah.
So you met Robert Usu as well. And then who else do you remember?
I met Emilia Elliott. Met Emilia. Some of us were taken off, but I wouldn't mention those names. In our time when you're doing television news, what you present is what is going to the people. That is what they are interested in. Not your dress code, not your hairdo, but your strict presentation. And so when you look at BBC, they are not overdressed.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
So we took it from BBC, and that's the way we were going. We still, GBC is a unique place and still doing that. The present radio stations are doing fantastically well. Or how would you put it?
Well, you are in a better position to see. We are in, so it's difficult to...
They are doing well. Most of them, I trained them.
Nice.
I was in TV3 the other day.
Wow.
And I help GBC to select news readers.
Wow.
Yes, I do. And a friend of mine had a school, and we taught a lot of people. Most of them are in the hinterland working with the same GBC ethics, and it's right. GBC, you are taught to realize that the studio is not a political platform. It's not a political platform.
I think that's lost on us in the new era of radio and media.
And I remember I was at the 1983 New Year's school. If I haven't got it right, you can correct me. And it was said there that we were going to introduce this proliferation of radio stations.
1983.
I think so. The
93.
New Year's school.
93.
83.
83?
New Year's school.
Yeah.
At Lagos.
In the heat of the revolution?
Yes.
Okay.
I was there. That was when the radio stations started coming up. You remember Radio I?
No, that was in 93. Actually, that was in 93.
93, before I came back from England.
Yes, that was in 93.
Okay.
Radio I actually
I had gone to the New Year's school and traveled to England, came back after 5 years, and continued. I came on a Tuesday, I got into the studio on a Thursday.
Wow.
I didn't have to rewrite an application.
Well, you are good. Your work spoke for itself.
So we were warned. Even a friend, Joe Hart, is a friend I met in England. He worked for the BBC. I had several opportunities to get there, but I had an agenda when I traveled. So I couldn't have gone into broadcasting again because I was sorely afraid. If I'm not going back on my story, I'd like to continue.
Yeah, that's right.
Those days before I traveled.
So this is about before you went to the BBC.
No, I didn't go to work in the BBC. I visited my friend Elizabeth Ohini there.
Great.
And
we'll take a short break and then we will continue with this story. So you are listening to Madame Lucy Banini. Mama Lou, as they used to call her, I remember the likes of Charlie Sam and the rest, always referring to her affectionately as Mama Lou, and taking us through her own footprints. You know, the woman who actually created the space for some of us today. We'll take a short break. When we come back, she'll continue with her story. This is still Footprint. Welcome back to the program. This is Footprint. I'm here with Mama Lou, Madam Lucy Banini, formerly of GBC. Well, is it still GBC? GBC Radio?
We had four then.
Yes.
First GBC, then the external service.
Yeah.
You remember the South African War?
South Africa?
Fight for independence.
Okay,
Nelson Mandela.
The whole thing, yeah.
We were shooting into East Africa, and we go to work at 1 a.m.
Wow.
Yes, and I drive all the way from Tema, 18 miles, to come to the studio to read the 6 o'clock news.
Whoa.
Get there, edit my bulletin before I read.
Wow.
So the external service was there, and most of us, all of us girls, Beatrice Du, Tamadako, yeah, maybe and myself, as I see, we were all playing music, but we were not DJs. I came out as a DJ who loves town.
Wow.
And I host a lot of government programs and individual programs, so I was always in town.
Yeah.
And that made me different from Harriet. You know, Harriet was one person. She's there.
Heritage Mensah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mine was outside.
Yeah.
And that's how the name was being treated, Mama Lou, Mama Lou.
Oh, yeah.
And Harriet is one of my greatest fans.
Wow. Auntie Harriet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was the external service, then the commercial service came.
So you had GBC 1 and GBC 2.
Yeah, Radio 2, Radio 2.
Yeah.
And the undertone is the commercial service. This is the Ghana Broadcast, Radio 2, the commercial service of the Ghana Broadcasting.
Oh, okay. So that's where you hear adverts and
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes.
So the GBC 1 was more local language, is that
Yes,
correct?
local language and the news department. We call it program operations.
Wow.
It engulfs everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So tell me, they handed over the baton to you, Mrs. Ademola.
She taught me
She did.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
And Ellen Odampton.
I mean, anytime I met her, I had to keep quiet because I wasn't sure whether I was pronouncing something right, man. So I think sometime early 90s thereabouts, I found myself with her and I think Auntie Harriet and a few others were commissioned to do the broadcasting standards, at which time John Hammond had just come back to Ghana. I think he was part of it. And Mrs. Ademola, I go to the meeting and all I do is to look at her like this. Because when she speaks, it's final.
Yes.
Wow. So she owned the Loom building in Adabraka.
I fellowship at Richard.
Oh.
And one time we were looking for readers, And I said, okay. Then I'd even injured my arm through an accident. So I said, I'll go. And I asked him. So when I started reading, I said, this is not GBCU.
Wow. Yeah. So having benefited from the likes of Mrs. Ademola, you also became
and Ellen Odampton, I still meet Ellen Odampton. The last time we met, we were on the same pedestal, trying to interview news.
She also used to be on radio, right?
Well, she was a lecturer at the university.
But she she wasn't on radio.
Well, no.
Okay. There was an Odampton.
Maybe she's had 1 or 2 interviews.
Okay. Yeah. Now you also trained others. Or others passed through
on.
Yeah. Remember some of those names?
Oh, it was mainly in the studio.
Yeah, studio. I mean,
but I vividly remember that students come, come from GIJ and they tell me, they said when you go to look for Mama Lou, she should help you. So they come and they start looking for me. Some of them call me Mama Lee, and I said, I'm not Mama Lee. And so I helped them. I remember one came to my house. He followed me to the house and said, oh, Mama Lou, please teach me the trend of news reading. Yes, news reading has a tone. Yeah. It has musical notes, and it has rhymes. You must know all this so that nobody will tell you that you read like my class 3 child in school. You must read as though you wrote the news. You were at the place where the incident happened. You have to travel that imaginary journey to be able to make the news wholesome.
Wow.
You capture people's attention to listen to you. Even the name the way you pronounce your name. Most readers now, I happen to be on a workshop with TV3, and I told them, you must have a panache, you must have a style, but your name you must not play with. It must come out boldly, because you will pronounce it. Don't think they write it on the screen for people to pronounce. You pronounce your name in a way that somebody will get glued to what you want to read. That makes you a top news reader. Everybody wants to. There was 6 o'clock. People come and they tell me, I ran out of the bathroom with my towel, and they became my bosses in GBCS. And when I was at the university, when I hear you presenting news at 6, I ran.
Yeah.
My father will call all of us, Lucy Banini is on, and I ran. And when I was presenting Radio Dance Time, my director general was telling me, hey, Maulu, I come out with my towel.
Yeah.
That was one of the director generals, Willie P. and Pim Dako.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was introduced to him on one of our get-togethers on Radio Unique Radio. And everybody, oh, this is Godwin. Godwin was also my mentor. When he's going out to host programs, I'm the only lady he takes along. You know,
Wow.
James Martin does that, Charlie does that.
So you had Charlie Sam, you had Godwin Avenogbo,
James Amati, Joe Kofi.
Joe Kofi.
Yes.
Is it Joe
And the rest
Kofi?
were
Joe
children.
Kofi? Joe
I've got a
Kofi?
picture with Joe Kofi. Sure.
Wow. Wow.
We have the same birthday.
Wow.
We are antagonistic towards each other. He'll give me a query and I'll answer with a query.
Oh. So you had all these big
Same
names
birthday.
around.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, last time I met Joe Kofi, he's still going strong.
Right.
We were together at our Gasbroad meeting. You know Gasbroad?
Yeah.
Ghana Association of Past
Past
Broadcasters.
broadcast. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Joe Kofi,
Yes.
Charlie Sam. I mean,
Charlie,
oh
yes.
man.
Sha.
And then you had the Tommy and Forsons.
They came after us,
later.
and Jim McCoffers and Samson Quains.
Samson Quain.
I spin some music on the turntable, and somebody was like, how did you do it?
So you're using turntables back
Turntables,
yeah.
and you spin,
Yeah.
and you use the headphone, listen to the music that will blend with your voice and, you know, make it romantic enough, you know,
Yeah.
for people to get glued to the station.
Wow.
Yeah, you just don't do it. You do
Looks
it
like
with
now
something
now
inside
we just
you.
do it though, because
Yeah, something inside you, you know.
because now the types of songs that we are hearing, for couple songs, we
Yes. Yeah.
are fake work.
Yeah. We play world music. Everything we play.
Oh, nice. So particularly the Tommy and Forsons, the Samson Quains. You had any particular?
Tommy came before Samson Quain.
Yeah,
well
of course,
before
of course.
Samson
Well
Quain.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
Samson Quain must be in the 80s thereabouts.
Oh no,
Early
Samson Quain
80s.
is a young man.
Yeah.
And you mean the year?
Yeah, the year.
That was when I came back from England.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, I met Samson before I left
Before
for
you
England
left,
and
yeah.
came back and met him.
Because I remember
I
him in the
introduced
mid-80s.
reggae on Radio 2.
Really?
And yes,
You were playing reggae?
Oh, what? I love reggae. Saturday
Because
mornings.
It wasn't the kind of
And
thing.
my bosses were complaining. So one of my boys called Danny, he plays reggae, and I thought I was a bit bored with it. So Saturday mornings I bash reggae.
Oh, you mean you bash? No, tell me about this reggae one.
Yes.
So, what kind of reggae
One reggae musician came from England to come and see me. And Samson Quain brought him. So this is my boss.
As for Samson Quain, another Poncho. No, so what kind of reggae songs were you into?
Oh, well, I play everything. I play lovers reggae a lot. Judy Boucher, you know. I love Bob Marley. And I love Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff, obviously.
Buju Banton.
You were playing Buju Banton?
Yes.
Hey!
I play Buju Banton.
So you remember some of those songs still?
I
mean,
still
not
play
singing,
them.
but I mean, you still play them.
Yes.
You still enjoy them?
I get on DSTV and I go to the music department. I play Buju Banton.
Oh, mommy, you are too funky, man. Because Charlie Buju Banton.
Mama look at the yes. And I play.
You are inside power.
Oh yes, I play musical youth.
Musical
Fight
youth.
the Dutchie. By the left hand side.
No, Charlie, mommy, mommy, you do all. So pass the dutchie. You see the way she did
But
it.
I don't do dutchie.
No, I'm not suggesting anything like that. I'm just saying that.
Yes.
I mean, you knew the game.
By the left hand side.
Yeah. So you remember they came to Ghana?
Oh yes, yes. I wasn't around then.
Oh, that was in 83, 84.
And then
thereabouts, yeah.
UB40.
UB40. Yeah, the English group. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you love them too.
Yes.
Wow. I mean,
I play all around reggae.
Hey, mommy, one day we should invite you.
And I
to
play
come.
love songs. I'm crazy about love songs. I live by love songs. Well, when I'm on duty at late night, I call myself the night owl. And I tell a story through love songs.
That's all.
And then the following morning, you see people rushing. I want to see Babalu.
Those days, love songs. Who were the big names, in that genre?
Oh, well. Oh, then when you take I can't really remember, but when you take a person like,
so this was
there were many. Love song lyrics. By the time I came back from England, it was Bryan Adams' time, and I said I love you, but I lied.
Yeah.
The guy.
I love you, but I lied.
Love is stronger than that. Yeah. I met him in England. I met him going to Oxford Street, to promote his music.
Yeah, that's what they all do.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like here.
Yeah.
And I remember when I came, even Ampedu came to my house, play my music. And when I started playing his music, he wrote a love letter. I said, that's good. That's not why I'm playing it. Your music is good.
Yeah.
So I've got Ampedu repertoire.
Oh, nice. Wow. Good. So we would stay in GBC up until which year did you have to leave GBC?
Well, I left in 89.
89.
For the second time. And 89, I kept a bit longer, but I traveled a lot. 89, I took a major step. Because my children were growing up.
Yeah.
I ended up being a single mother.
Right.
With 5 of them.
Right.
4 boys. And I said, oh, Lucy, you are this high, what would the boys be? So it was part of my agenda to travel. So I let them go study in England. Some of them are still there.
4 boys? Wow.
And 1 girl.
One
the gun jumping. She is a gun jumping.
That's all.
Michael is an engineer, entrepreneur. Got a pharmacist. And Emmanuel, he works with the UN, ILO. And Benny is a marketer. He was with GVC.
Oh, okay.
And I'm there.
That's nice. So you left 89, went to the UK?
Yes, I went to the UK.
I
went to the UK. They were asking to offer me a salary. I said, no, I'm a nationalist. I'm just sojourning. I'll go when I want to go.
89 in the days of the revolution.
But when I went to take my visa, I had just finished a trade fair program with Mike Egan. And I went to take my visa to travel. And the Englishman, I don't want to mention his name, but he's always on my mind.
You mean at the
visa office?
Ted Main?
No. You mentioned names. So I don't want to.
88, 89.
Yeah, so I remember his name. And then one day I opened the radio and he was presenting jazz mataz. So I said, oh, this is why the guy, he gave me all the addresses to go and work in babies. I said to myself, I have an agenda.
That's it.
Because I remember here, my wardrobe, every year I had to change clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, my wardrobe was full. And then I wasn't afraid. I was just bored with all these coups around. I remember that the first December coup, I did the television news with 2 army men standing by me.
Really?
Yes, America and Kujo, you know.
They were standing to make sure you read.
No, not that I make sure they read the news. They were protecting GBC.
Oh, yeah.
It's 31st December.
81, yes.
81. And I said to myself, why did you come to work? Because it was crazy.
You should have been at a watch night service.
Yes. And when we run shifts, and it was my turn.
Course, yeah.
Those days you don't have a friend will not come and take over on 31st.
No.
It is you and it is you.
Yeah.
I had come to the compound from Tema to buy chicken for Christmas or for New Year. And whilst I was driving through, I drive a red sports car through TV3, I saw the army van coming. So by the time I got to TV3, there's one gate. I went in,
yeah.
And then these people too were in. So I saw everything filly.
Wow.
I went home and came back to take over from my colleagues.
And they allowed you to come in?
No, why shouldn't you? I'm on duty. As well as we are special people, we hold the fort, so you can't say no. So who will be it? I ended up, but because I went home, I dressed for the occasion. I dressed like a queen mother.
You're not afraid?
I'll tell you, Kwashiga once asked me during the Jiwaku, weren't you afraid? I said, I've experienced it. Something can come from the top and hit you on the ground when you haven't asked for it.
The Hali the Jiwaku, you were on duty? You were on duty too?
Yes. And it was someone who sacked the guy. Then I was a DJ. 31st, I was a news reader. And then
let's hold it.
was a DJ.
I am very interested. So, 81, the 31st December 81, the particular night that the Rawlings coup was effected, you were reading the news, or you read the news?
I was trying to do the evening news.
Evening news.
At 7 p.m.
Wow. Okay, fast forward. 82, 83, thereabouts. Hali Dijua, notorious coup plotter.
They were friends with Samoa during the past the Dutchy.
Who was Samoa again?
Samoa was one of our DJs. He's called African Child. He passed on 2 years ago, or thereabout.
May his soul rest in peace. So
he went to work with Atlantis with George Robert.
Okay,
yes.
Robert Oswald. Oh, okay, never met him. So you were there when Hali Dijua's coup. I mean, that coup it disrupted everything.
And I saw the helicopter in there, and I quickly dressed up to come to work. If I tell you what I wore, you'll be surprised.
Tell me.
I wore a beautiful dress, and I slit it up to my thighs.
Jesus.
So when Kwashiga saw me, he was lying on the green grass just at the gate. He asked me, Lucy, are you not afraid? I said, well, it's my time, but you, as you lie here, something can come from the top and hit you. That day, me, Joyce Ayi, Kwashiga, 2 technicians, we slept in the studio. We spent the night in the studio.
What was Joyce
Ayi doing? She was a minister then.
Oh, okay. She was then the minister at the time. Yeah.
Uzu Prempe was the top of the ladder, the, what do you call, Director General.
Director General, yeah.
He also came, his house was just at the gate.
Around there, yeah.
So I drove, because they said, aren't you afraid? I said, open the name, I drive in. So I drove in.
Wow, interesting. But
and we spent the night there. You know what he said? I said, listen, it'd be nice to share a bed. I said,
Paddy, I hear your phone.
So we were laughing at it when we met outside.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Good. So that captures the cool story. So
there's one more.
31st.
The very first one. I had visited a friend, and we have a common friend. I told your son, I wish Jerry Rawlings was alive. I'll tell the story in his face. So we met in a friend's place, and his mother lives in Tema. Community 5.
Who's?
Jerry's mom.
The mom, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
The grandmother lived in South Labadi, so we called her Granny. So it's like family. So he gave me a lift. He sent me to
Who gave you the lift?
Jerry gave me a lift.
Okay.
I was living in Tema. No. Before.
Okay.
So on our way, the last time I met him, we took a picture and it hasn't come. When the mother passed on, I went to say hello. And I said, I'll come and see him. I'll ask him one question, that all this, what has happened in the end? Yes. He calls me Sister Lucy. So on our way, when we reached the Teshin range thereabout, and you saw the Peshin
Lagoon, yeah.
Yes, a small blue sports car. He asked me, Lucy, do you know that Ghana revolution peb and you save Wolo? No, but I changed the topic because I didn't understand the word revolution relating to anything. We were having a conversation.
Yeah.
So we drove on. I never answered him. Then a few days after, the thing happened.
Yes.
Luckily, I was on duty, so I went.
Uh-huh.
I went on duty.
And you could connect who he was.
Oh, but he is my friend. We grew up in South Lai Estate.
Oh, so you knew him?
Yes.
Wow.
But then I didn't even know he was a soldier. We had a common friend. I don't want to mention her name. We're still friends though.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So I ran to work.
So you have had all the experiences, revolution, coup d'etat, and the whole shaking of GBC, and you hear gunshots outside and all that. Whew.
And later on, I was given a flat very close to GBC, distant walk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a few steps, so you enter GBC.
Just behind the schools,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's good.
And
Anyways.
all through this, I think I just got bored.
Yeah, no.
Yes, I was tired of selling my clothes, TV programs, outside programs, news reading. I had some very hot-headed bosses. Why did you do it like this? And why?
Well, that's
I was sort of tomboy and free spirit. So some of the things they would say that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I remember one day it was the news or something. I said, "Oh, Auntie Genevieve, please take your news." Then I left. Following day, I was in Radio 2 doing DJ.
So we will take a short break. When we come back, we'd like to know, returning from England to GBC, what other things that kept Mama Lou in her career. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Footprint, and I'm here with Mama Lou, Madam Lucy Banini. I'm saying that they defined the space that we occupy today. I mean, they did all the hard work. We just are enjoying, and she particularly had a way of doing it, and many people still refer to the Mama Lou style. Mama Lou comes, and even when she mentions her name, Charlie, they say, "I was Sibegu." That call it other
goose pimples.
How are you doing? How are you doing it? You had it like recorded in
Yes.
So you had a news and
then this jockeying.
So how are you introducing yourself? My name is
on this jockeying. I'll always say my name is Lucy Banini. But you can always call me
Mama Lou.
So when I come out, then everybody says,
yeah. But news presenting.
This is the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. The time is 6 o'clock. Here is the news, read by Lucy Banini.
Hey, Afa. We had is it
Auntie Vida?
Vida, Auntie Vida.
Vida is my boss.
Auntie Vida.
She loves me, I love her.
Is it Vida Cranting?
Asante.
Yes.
Her rhyme.
Yes, Auntie Vida. Oh, man.
Read by Vida Cranting Asante.
Whoa.
It's not like, some people pronounce their names like that.
Yeah.
I've tried to correct them that it's not right.
Yeah. You should lift it.
Lift your name.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call my own name and I get goose pimples.
Wow.
Yes. Because I listen to myself.
Yeah.
I love listening to myself. When I read the news, I transfigure. I get into the world of imagination and I can see every story alive on the premises. I can see it like that, like what is happening in where the war is. Ukraine. I can just transport myself into Ukraine and read the news like that.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
But if you read it like you're just reading, everybody would notice that somebody has written it and you are reading it. So me in the newsroom, they tagged me, but they were happy with me because later they'll be asking me.
Yeah.
I read a lot. I came and my chief editor was talking about the Soviet Union. And I thought, Soviet Union doesn't exist now. There's no Soviet Union.
When you came back to
yes,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
Russia and the rest.
And the rest, that's correct.
Is
that's
it?
Correct. After Perestroika.
Yes, and I told them, you don't mention American state without mentioning the capital. You should be able to know those things as a newsreader, even if it is not written.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't know that. Trust me,
yes.
I didn't know that.
If you say Houston, you know 52 American states are all states in their own rights.
That's correct.
It's the capital that identifies them.
Oh, so Houston, Texas. You know. Okay.
Houston, Texas, yes.
Okay. Well, one for all of us here. And
so you must know these things, and you must. Now that we have the social media, we learn a lot from it.
Oh yeah.
You must be a world person.
That's
and
correct.
when you are writing about the elite in society, the tone of the bulletin must change. I had an editor who was from the University of Ghana, she, and then one day the editor in charge wrote a story about President Kufuor, and he wrote, and the president joined worshippers. I said, Grace, something is missing. He joined worshippers. In our language, when you say worshippers, it's something like juju or, you know. You must give all the, what do you call it, the phrases that will make it whole. So qualified, I changed it. Yeah. I changed it. I said the president worshipped. He joined the congregation. He joined the congregation to worship at. Yeah. That makes it more wholesome, and it rhymes and it sounds good. This is the president. She wouldn't talk to me for 2 years.
Less than So after you went back to GBC for a bit, and then you finally left GBC. And
on retirement.
On retirement. Yeah. What did you do after that?
Retirement?
Yeah.
I'm into something good.
Yeah. But at some point you went into the assembly?
Yes, I went to the assembly whilst I was still working.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So which assembly would this be again?
Accra Metropolitan.
Okay.
Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
La area.
La. Dadekotopong.
Dadekotopong. At the time, was it sub-metro?
Kajano, electoral area.
Kajano.
Kajano. A lot of crabs. It's a marshy area.
Oh, so
getting to Riga. There was car there. When we were children, we used to trap cars.
Wow. Car and
car, we. You see, so Kajano electoral area consists of Akwaje. And Akwaje of Blessed Mary is my very good friend. He tells you the story.
The politician.
Yes, right? Akwaje. Yeah. And then Akwaje, Nyaniba, Jomo, Southla Estate itself is a small enclave, but they all belong together. So South Labadi 1.
But you do have Kojo Sardin area?
Kojo Sardin is Lako.
Oh, okay.
Lako or whichever is another electoral area.
Okay.
So and then we had a piece of La. That is Kakramadu is a fishing area. So that is it. From that place to the trade fair is another electoral area. But the biggest of them all is there was one very big one. Okay. Which later was divided into two. Okay. So now I think they have.
So you also switched electoral area? Kajano. And you were the assembly woman?
Yes.
And they take your money?
No, they took my money. I'm fine.
Then you should go again because the people they are still there waiting for more money.
You see. And when I was campaigning, even my MP was holding my placard, Sylvester. They all came to support me. What happened was that where I stay is Jomo.
Okay.
And the streets, I remember since I was 10 years old, I haven't seen any resurfacing, more than 50 years. And then we had opinion leaders there. One time, ambassador to one of these Arab countries, Charles Heyman. We have Reverend Hesse, and a few people. They are the opinion leaders. So I called them together to come and think of the place. It is not good. Yes. So I fought, and with Lucy Banini at the forefront, every office started opening. And within 2 years, they'd cleaned all the gutters that were very smelly. You enter the estate and everyone. So they put it right, and the streets were okay. And then people started breaking down the houses and building story buildings. So Kajano, Jomo Kajano proper, South Lie, Echake. It's beautiful now.
Wow. And then you also had something to do with Laboni Secondary School. At which point?
Laboni Secondary School, I'll tell you that I love local governance.
Yeah.
Because whilst I lived in England, I saw that local governance is for the people.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever they do in Parliament is beyond the comprehension of the ordinary person on the
That's
streets.
correct. I'm with you on that.
So if we take Parliament as the overall, that is why the MPs get confused.
Well, they look it.
They get confused because look at this huge area. How can their common fund, who to satisfy? They go buy bulbs and street lights and no, that's not what the people need.
Yeah.
You see, so I went into mini politics. I'm not a core politician.
local area.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Development
Just to help
politics.
the
Yeah,
people.
that's correct.
And I started experiencing the poverty, the need and the want, and the joy that is denied the ordinary person who pays taxes. So I wrote a letter. I said, if we are paying house rent and where is our money? Come and do our roads or we won't vote again. So I did the one in front of Jerry's house. Everywhere. And morning, noon, and night, I was chasing them.
Wow.
Morning, noon, and night. And I went into an office. When they mentioned my name, the director came out to meet me instead of inviting me to his office. He said, so I haven't seen you before. I want to see you. My father said to me that you are his friend. Wow. I said, what is your name? He said, Mr. Brock. I said, oh, I know your father. He's a priest, you know. Yes. So he left broadcasting and went to study in Nigeria, and he came back, and they just closed him in a small office. He's a technician, he's an engineer. So he was doing nothing. So when I go to read the news on my way back, then I go and sit in his office.
Oh, wow.
So it was my friendly nature that got me that man to do the streets for Southland.
Wow.
And I remember an instance too when the nurses went on strike. I came to visit my daughter. It was raining. It was during May time, and I fell and hurt my knee. So I went to the polyclinic, which I constantly go to clean as an assemblywoman. And I went there. They said, oh, they are on strike. I said, you're on strike on Mama Lou. You can't be on strike on Mama Lou.
That's all right.
So they attended to me, and they went and gathered in their office at the top. The director had run away. The chief nurse, the seniors have run away. Long story short, they came to thank me in the house. I put the nurses back to work.
That's it. That's it.
I said, go
So
and work.
tell me.
And then the patients, the body people, I taught them how to talk to a nurse, how to get your needs. I speak at churches. I speak at gatherings.
Wow.
I do women's programs.
That's correct.
So I use that
With all the
aptitude.
experience,
And they went back to work. I was happy.
Good.
So the madam came and said thank you.
Let me go back to the Laboni Secondary School.
And as for Laboni, you are chosen from the assembly.
Oh, I see.
They select people to get on all the school boards.
Oh,
you know that the assemblies run the local government. That is local government. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's how you got onto the school
that
board.
is the people. And when I was there were two students
Which year
from
was
Malededa.
which year
I
was
can't
it?
remember.
Okay.
No, so the 90s.
Oh, okay.
When I come back from England.
Okay.
In the 90s. And then they write to me from the school, say, this boy can do well. He can even be first in class. But he comes to school with no food, nothing to eat. And so I quickly set up a scholarship scheme. I had the funds, not from my pocket, but the assembly, they give allowances. So I said, I'll use this allowance to do the charity. And then I told my children, they are no more children, my compatriots.
Well, they are still your children.
In quotes, they are madams and messieurs now. So we all came together and set up the charity. It's called Luban Outreach, and it's a scholarship scheme for children of trauma.
Wow.
You see, those days, not that there was no free education, there was something of that sort already in Mama Hammer's time. There was something, but still people needed something. So it grew. Then I started having teachers calling me, this one is crying in class. There was a boy crying in class, not knowing that he got hernia. He comes to class, nobody will take his clothes off and see. Mommy doesn't follow, the boy will be crying. So one day the teacher saw it. They told me about it. I sent him to Rich Hospital and did the operation. He grew up. When he was getting married, he came.
Wow.
So I thank you.
Wow. Wow.
So I gave those scholarships, you see. And I went on the board as the assistant to a man from the university, professor or something, but he left after 2 years.
Professor who?
Okay,
I thought you mentioned
something,
him.
yeah.
Okay. Not PAV answer.
No.
Okay.
He was a professor at the Tech.
Oh, okay.
But he liked me because he realized that I was all around, sometimes Christmas switch and prize giving days or something, so read it for me, do this for me. So then one day he just left, and a few months after, it was conferred on me. And I stayed there for 13 years, trying to help run the affairs of the school, and they did well.
So it's been an episode, wonderful, with Mama Lucy Banini. Who doesn't know Lucy Banini? Unless you are not in Ghana, in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, for about 3 decades actually. And it was a name that was synonymous to broadcast excellence, and something that we all have to learn, something that she has actually established for all of us to learn. Mama Lu, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been amazing talking to you, because it's not. When I heard that you were here, I had to run to come and talk to you. Mommy, thank you so much. We are grateful you allowed us into your home today, and thank you for watching. This has been FootPrints. My name is Samuel Attah-Mensah. See you next time.